Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In this video I would like to show you how to use Synth, an alternative to poudriere in FreeBSD. Okay, let's do this. Here you can see that I've already logged into a fresh new box of FreeBSD. Let's try. So here uname, it's a really recent one, 15.1 stable. And to install Synth, the alternative to poudriere, we just need to do the basic thing, install Synth. All right, so this is now done. It's really simple. Next thing that we just need to do is to configure Synth. But actually, before that, we need to go to the user ports. Let me see. Yes, this installation currently has no ports. So let's just pull the latest one. So git clone http github.com. All right, pkg install git first. And I just realized that probably I need to move this window a little bit in that direction. So let's just do it like that. Yes, I think now it should be easier. So let's see. The first thing that I did was pkg install synth, as you can see. Then I tried the git clone. Git was not installed. And by the way, I don't have vim and midnight commander installed. That's not good. Okay, let's just continue. pkg install git. This is done, and let's do the cloning of the git ports to the current directory. All right, it's done, it's done. All right, so now let's see. And here we have our port tree. Nice. So I think the first time we just need to run synth, and actually I think we need to run it from a directory that's not the port tree. And we just run synth, and I think it's going to ask for configuration. No, but we have the option configure. So let's try that, configure. And we see here that a ports directory is already configured to the user ports. So we see the things here. It all looks good, except that I want to prefetch pre-built packages. So Synth works much faster. It doesn't need to compile everything from scratch. So let's just get this thing here. I typed in n. Do you want to prefetch the packages? It should be set to true. Yeah, and then we see a star there. The star means we change that parameter. Return to save the changes, and we are happy and we are good to go. Now let's imagine that I want to compile, I don't know, 86 box, because it's a nice project. So I can just say synth before that, -- help. It helps. So synth, and now we can just build, or just build. And I think this is development / 86 box. Let's just try. No, it's not. So user ports, and there is under devel, okay, there is devel and 86 box. So let's just try that one. That's the directory, devel 86 box. Let's cross fingers. No! All right. Of course, it is good when we can actually read the things, read the messages that are printed. So configurations is invalid. The dist files directory is not existing. So let's just make a directory, user ports dist files. All right. And let's try it again. Hey, it's starting scanning the ports tree. It might take a little bit of time. It's going to scan everything in the /user/ports, and it's going to determine the versions, etc. And then it's going to build a package. So there is also the force. So if you're doing some local changes, and if you already compiled and so on, you can basically just force compilation. And if you download the packages, the pre-built packages, it can download the pre-built dependencies, and you force the compilation of the package that you're working on. That is pretty cool. So if you are doing ports development, if you're porting software to FreeBSD, and if you're using poudriere, it can download also the latest packages from the sources, from pkg FreeBSD.org. But in this case, Synth is much easier to configure and gives you some degree of insurance that what you are doing and what you're porting is actually correct. As a side note, while this is loading the packages, because we can, I'm just going to say that if you're porting software to FreeBSD, by the way, I will be doing a video on that in time. I need to gather some data, etc., and then we'll come to the point. But if you're porting software for FreeBSD, and if you go to, let's say, /user ports development 86 box, you can type in make and it will compile the software. But the quality insurance is not that great because it's going to take the packages that you currently have in your system. When you are publishing into the official FreeBSD repository, you need to make sure that the dependencies that basically are compiling the software on a freshly new system with the latest packages in the or at least the quarterly branch, etc. And sometimes there are some discrepancies, and it might be that the package compiles locally and it doesn't compile in poudriere or doesn't compile in Synth. Or it might be the other way around, that it compiles in poudriere. And for example, you have an old version of some software installed in your local system, and if you go to the directory, type make to compile the software, maybe it refuses to compile. So that happens to me sometimes when I'm trying some things and porting software to FreeBSD, and it's something to have your eye on. So it's a good invitation if you want to port software for FreeBSD. The best thing is to use poudriere. The next best thing is to try it in Synth, because Synth is also going to use a fresh jail to compile things. The advantage of Synth is that it's going to create a local repository where when you are installing pkg install a package and so on, you are configuring, it does it already automatically for you, that the package is going to be pulled already either from the pkg FreeBSD orgs, from that one there, or it's going to pull from your local compiled packages. Neat, right? All right, so we are almost done progress. So it does take a lot of time to scan the ports tree, and now you see it in real time. So 90, 100. No, error port origin is not specified, is not recognized. So let's see again. User ports devel 86. Yes, it's not 86. It's probably in emulators 86 box. I should know this better. I'm actually the maintainer of this. So let's go here. Emulators. Sometimes it's too much stuff to put in your head and I forget stuff. So it's not really in the development. Yes, it's an emulator. So it's put under the category of emulators. So as you can see, it has a jail, and now it's building pkg inside the jail. And if I'm not mistaken, it will start pulling some packages for that jail and pulling the dependencies. And the 86 box by itself is going to be built by Synth. So let's just wait a little bit. All right, so now you see it's downloading packages with all the dependencies, 277 dependencies that it's fetching, and those are 277 packages that we are not compiling, not wasting CPU time and not wasting electricity. Let's go! All right, so now you see it is compiling there, up there, right? It's interesting, this is left or right or something like this. It's when I point to my right, it goes to the left, so my image is basically flipped. Okay, we see here the build phase. So we have some, for example, Sphinx. It's under the packaging phase, so it has compiled and now it's packaging. You see it's using compiling 8 packages at the same time. We see total 33, so from the total 33 there's currently built 19 packages and left 13. So it does still need to compile a couple of packages. It cannot fetch all the dependencies. Probably the reason for that is that those packages, since I pulled the latest version from ports, it could be that those packages have been recently updated and they are still not in the package repository for FreeBSD. All right, GTK30 is also going to compile. I think this might take a little bit of time. So you can see there is a clock there. Well, let's just wait and see. And by the way, while I'm speeding up things, I will do also a small intervention here, which you might think, well, I might have a couple of cores, and currently I'm only building 2 packages in parallel. What gives? So why it's still 10 packages are left to be compiled? Why are the other packages not being compiled? You can imagine that there is a dependency graph, and some packages depend on some other packages and so on. And of course, you cannot, there are some bottlenecks, and some of those packages cannot be compiled because they depend on some other packages that are underneath. So of course, you need to start building from down to up, yeah? Depending on how you put a tree. Anyways, you need to compile the dependencies before you compile the packages itself. So a couple of them can go in parallel because they are not really dependencies. But at some point in time, you have to start converging because at the top of everything is the main dependence that you ask to compile. In this case, 86 box, right? All right, so let's wait a little bit more. All right, so as you can see, it did take quite a lot of time, almost 40 minutes, but it's basically compiled. Let's just try to run it again, and you're going to see that this is just going to say that it's already built. So let me see, just built. We try to compile the same one. And it should basically say that it's already done. All right, so as you can see, after inspection, it has been determined that there are no packages that require rebuilding. The task is therefore complete. So that's it. This concludes the short introduction to Synth, an alternative to poudriere. And if you liked the video, you can give it a thumbs up. And if you have some comments or suggestions, use the space down below. Otherwise, thanks a lot for passing by. Take care. See you next time. And bye-bye.